Thank you, ma'am. So with that, welcome everybody. I am Jane Tessner Kleiner. I am the program coordinator for the Lower Columbia Nature Network. And for this episode of March Partners Meeting, we are excited to welcome partners to learn more about the programs that you do in connecting our Latinx community to nature. So I would like to start with, kind of give you all a heads up, Vive Northwest. We have a couple members here, and then Dr. Kellyanne Richardson with ELSO Inc., and then Sheila Davis with Fourth Plane Forward, and then Juliet Fernandez with US Forest Service. Excuse me. And then I know there's others in the group, but we'll start with those four. So, excuse me, Jorge, let me know if you need me to make you co-host, or Isaac.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, if you could make Isaac co-host, and Isaac, would you mind just sharing our website, please? Or Jane, if you have our website, and you could just share that, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac, I made you co-host, so go for it if you'd like to. And Jorge, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Thank you again for the opportunity to just present on the work we do. Viva Northwest was launched or initiated back in 2016 with the idea of connecting diverse communities to the outdoors and nature. We have three specific areas that we focus in. The first one is in connecting diverse communities to the outdoors for the purpose of recreational opportunities and also stewardship. We believe that once people fall in love with the natural environment, they will also help us protect the environment for future generations. So we do not only every weekend we have outings like hiking, snowboarding, snowshoeing, whitewater rafting, skydiving, anything related to the outdoors we do. But also in those during those outings, we also use them as opportunities to talk about environmental conservation work. And also we do tree plantings and removals of invasive species events with the U.S. Forest Service and other partners just to help protect the environment. The second area of focus is health. We believe that the more time we spend outdoors and connect with nature, the healthier we are, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally. So we do a little bit of work on this area with local government agencies and the state government, like Oregon Health Authority. And then the third area of focus is economic development. So as you may know, tourism and the outdoors, it's one of the largest industries, at least for the state of Oregon. I believe it's also for the state of Washington, but it's not a very diverse industry or sector. So we work with companies to help diversify their workforce and also create opportunities for Spanish-speaking professionals to enter the workforce as well. Also tourism, it is not an industry that is very diverse. So we work with agencies like Travel Oregon to make sure that minority-owned businesses also see the benefit of tourism as people come to Oregon, or in this case, Washington, to visit, the beautiful place we have here in the Pacific Northwest. We're also a creative agency, so we work with quite a bit of federal, state, and local government agencies to help them produce outreach materials to help connect those resources and information they have to diverse communities. So in essence, that's the work we do. Isaac, I'm not sure if there's anything you would like to add.
One thing I did want to touch on, which I think is a great opportunity for youth we have coming up, is we are partnering with PG&E with their Project Zero program, and we will have 2 internships available this summer. And so I think our idea right now is for one of those internships to possibly help with some of our outdoor adventures and stewardship opportunities, more of a fun, get out there, hands-on sort of internship opportunity. And then one is going to be more on the maybe writing and, learning a little bit more about grants and contracts and the nitty-gritty of running an organization like ours. So we think they're going to be both great opportunities for young people in the community. And we're super excited to start referring great potential candidates to that position. And especially for the outings position, it would be very important that that person would be bilingual, because so many of our participants are Spanish speaking. So we're really excited about that. And yeah, we also have some great stewardship opportunities coming up. We'll be working with Cedar in the spring. That's gonna be a family-focused event on removing invasives. So we're pretty excited about that event as well.
Yay! That's awesome. Wow, I couldn't take notes fast enough. And Isaac, you just reminded me, if you were not able to make last month's meeting, a lot of you gave us ideas, and I'm going to share this really quick, and then I swear we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. But we did create, because Juliet had this great idea of having a single place where we can send folks who are helping youth find service opportunities, career skills building for young adults, as well as internships and jobs. And Kellyanne, I was on your website and grabbed some of your information, but if you have internships, jobs, stewardship projects that you would love for us to post here that relate to youth, please send us the information, what link you want us to use. We are happy to share this. I'm meeting with CTE, the Career Tech Ed directors for schools, and I would love to get this out into the community. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you, Jorge. That was great. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, let's see. I thought I was on mute. Sorry. No. We partner and collaborate a lot. So if there's any areas for collaboration that you may have within your agency, we're always happy to explore ideas. I just presented at the conference, at the governance conference here for Travel Oregon, in Oregon. And there was quite a bit of opportunities there where a lot of the travel agencies wanted to connect with Vive Northwest just to help diversify a lot of their destinations and just kind of make those more accessible. When we speak about accessibility, one of the big barriers that we noticed that people had when accessing the outdoors was transportation. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to purchase 2 Sprinter vans, and we use those to literally drive people to a lot of the adventures that we have, just making it very accessible and welcoming for everyone. We do focus in Spanish-speaking communities, but that doesn't mean that we are not open to welcoming all cultures or people. So if you ever want to connect with Spanish speakers because you want to practice your Spanish, or you just want to access the outdoors through a cultural lens, please feel free to connect with us and enjoy any of our outings that are coming up. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Jane. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. And I really appreciate the opportunity to practice Spanish. I'm learning very slowly, but I'm 57. Things don't stick very well anymore. So for some reason, I took high school French, which was good back when I lived near Quebec. But so thank you. That's fantastic. I see Lourdes mentioned in the chat, where can we find information about the application for the internships that you mentioned, Isaac?
I will pull that link and drop it into the chat. There is a referral for PG&E, and yeah, I'll get that link as quickly as I can.
Thank you so much. And either Jorge or Isaac, if you want to put the best email or phone number that you would like folks to connect with you, if there's a collaboration opportunity, go ahead and drop that in the chat as well. We'd appreciate that.
Of course.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, Dr. Kellyanne Richardson with ELSO Inc., which is based out of Portland and Texas, covering lots of ground. We welcome you and would love to hear more about your programs. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. We're new partners, so we're working together on it. So I'm super excited to begin that work here in the spring or fall, was the spring, summer, for example. I figured for this, sorry, I'm a mom, so I have turned off the pump for the milk. Let's see. So I figured for my overview, I just do a very simple who, what, when, where, how. And so our who is Experience Life Science Outdoors. And we are a STEAM and nature-based environmental education nonprofit. And we're actually, in fact, we're only based out of Portland, Oregon. If we had quarters, probably be in Portland, but we don't have a headquarters. So based on the impact of families. And so I'll tell that story in order, cutting in and out.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Well,
I know
we
that
start.
sometimes if you turn off your video, sometimes that helps the internet connection. Sorry, we want to see you, but
Okay, I can try this. Is this a little clearer?
yes.
Okay, good, good. What we started off with a K-8 day camp, Monday through Friday, beginning the second week of July. We found out the hard way you shouldn't do anything during the week of the 4th of July. So from then on, it was always the second week of July. After the kids and having 15-hour days, we then began to hire teachers in the summer that were on their summer break. And then the next year we started to hire camp guides, kids that were like 14 to 18. And then the parents said that, wow, my kid had such a great time. I wish you had something for the practice. Then we started offering spring. And then having a year where we had the kids with the spring break and the summer camp. They said, wow, I'd be much more confident if our experiences in the field rather than just the spring and the summer. So then we started the 9-month internship program, Tap and Roots, for the Black and Brown identified youth that wanted to become environmental educators. So we would do a deep dive, like going to the St. John's Cathedral and doing a paddling experience and bringing in an elder during a symposium to talk about what it used to be like in the 60s, swimming and fishing at the river versus, all of the history of the land of ports, quote unquote. And then giving some of that background over a 4-hour experience so they wouldn't be working off of rote memorization, but from memory made throughout the year. Then we expanded. So then at that point, we started to become a bit of a wraparound service because then we've got the 9-month internship and then the spring and the summer programming. And then finally, we started to, you always hear about AVE, the STEAM versus STEM. So we started to say, what are we going to do for the A, for the arts? And we decided to bring in architecture because we really love the elements of math and design and the folks that are not usually STEM identified to bring them a STEM identity. So then at that point, that was a 8-week after school for kids. And so by that point, we went from maybe 1 or 2 or 4 weeks of impact to 11 months worth of programming. So that's the who and that's the what organic. When do we do it? It's just about all year round. We've always got something happen. And then I want to say in the last 5 years, what we really found is that we can really increase our touch points with the youth by actually having outreach events side of programming. So we took a really interesting approach to recruiting for our camp guides by letting them interview for their jobs in their Halloween costumes. So we host the harvest party event to really, guys, we're competing with Chick-fil-A, okay? When you can get a job after school and in the summer, you're competing with free nuggets. So at a certain point, you got to get creative. So we started to have outreach events like the harvest party that at this point attract up to 600 youth and families, where we can bring in our other partners that will do some tabling. Some years we've had US Fish and Wildlife do pelts and skulls. Other years, we've had the health department come in and hand out jobs or answer questions about COVID-19. We've had local banks serve as volunteers at the doors, right? Anything that we can do to make it exciting and new and interesting and have touch points with families all year round and connect people to resources. But I'd say, to answer the question that's going to take most of our time today, the best way that we've been able to reach out to the Latinx community and serve the Latinx community is integrating that perspective of the community into the board and into the staff hiring, and thereby making its way into the programming so that it's absolutely, so that culture, those cultures are represented in all of the facets of our decision making. And I think that'll do it for today.
Awesome. Thank you. Please turn your video back on because we'd love to thank you in person. Sorry that the audio was cutting out. I'm not sure why, but thank you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's okay.
do you want to put your contact information in the chat box for folks if they want to connect or collaborate? That would be great. But we will,
Absolutely.
LCNN will be a partner with ELSO. Well, we are. We're ELSO, right? Planting lots and lots of trees over the next 5 years through the Urban Forestry Canopy Project. So really excited to start that adventure. So thank you, Dr. Kellyanne Richardson. That was fantastic. And so grateful for all that you do. Next up, I would like to introduce an amazing person, so bubbly, Sheila Davis here on Fourth Plane Forward, because Fourth Plane is like right behind my house here, doing some great work in the downtown area of Vancouver. Welcome, Sheila.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for having us, Jane. I get the opportunity to work with Jane closely on our Mother Camas project. But let me give you a little background on who Fourth Plane Forward is and kind of what I do in our community. Fourth Plane Forward is a place-based development organization along the Fourth Plane corridor. So it runs from I-5, if y'all know Vancouver, I-5 to Andresen, SR 500 to East 18th Street. So that's kind of like our area of the folks that we serve along the corridor. That's what we call the corridor. It's about a 2.4 square mile district, right? And so it's over like 5 different neighborhoods. And so we work closely with our like our neighborhoods, our people, our folks, the businesses along the corridor. We're the highest diverse area in Vancouver. So we serve Black, Brown, Indigenous communities, folks who are under-resourced and excluded from the mainstream services. So what does that really look like? So my job as community development is really like looking at our community. How can we connect our community and start building stronger connections, and to help reduce some of those systematic racism, persistent poverty, and significant health disparities. And we know that, how do I say this? We know that it affects us. I come from very humble beginnings, and I understand. I had the opportunity to grow up in nature, though, in the Arctic wildlife, right? I had that opportunity, and that's very, very healing. So when we start looking at like our organization as the backbone organization for the area, we really want to bring together like different systems, other grassroots organizations, residents, and businesses to start removing some of those barriers. Our 5 pillars for our organization are racial equity, inclusion, social justice, always community first, collective impact, development without displacement, because we know that happens, right? And we don't want that to happen in our area here. And last but not least, climate action and adaptation. So that's where our almond will kind of come in and speak about what she's doing with her program. So really our 5 priority areas with our 5 pillars are economic opportunity, healthy places. And so so honing back into like what I love to do is like get our community outside. So in the summer, we have art in the park events. We partner with our communities. We're trying to build community gardens here, right? Work closely with Vancouver Bee Project, like for sure. And with Jane and the city of Vancouver, everybody who is our closest partners to get our youth and our community outside. And so that's where my passion lies, is like really getting communities together. Whether it's getting us out, hanging out with us, doing art, history, culture, right? How do we involve our culture into spaces? So going back to what I had said around Mother Camas, this is where I really got to get to know Jane. And like she was able to design this beautiful like landscape of just beauty to really encompass this welcoming totem. I call it a totem. I guess in the lower 48 here, they call them welcoming poles. But being an Alaska Native girl, I'm going to call it a totem still because that's who I am. It's very gorgeous, and it's really starting to talk about bringing culture into our area. Our next project, when this is done, we're going to be working on something else, right? To continue to build culture, resiliency, and to like really have ownership of what we do here, and really have that space for us to shine. So that's a little bit of what we do. Our organization is like 90% of the global majority. So that's a really, that's a pretty awesome thing. Not very many organizations have a team full of the global majority. And that's like an honorable space to sit in, and like looking at what that new norm is. And so again, working with community, all communities, the Latina community, like the Pacific Islander community, indigenous peoples, all peoples. I have the opportunity to sit and hang out with and have really good conversations on what that development looks like and how we continue to support other small grassroots organizations so that they can shine and walk with community. Almond, are you here? Can you talk a little bit about your new position, Almond?
Yes, so thank you, Sheila. Thank you for that intro. But yes, Fourth Mind Forward has always been, great at advocating for all of our BIPOC communities along the corridor. I have worked as their social media for the last, it's almost been almost a year, not yet, but almost. I do have an environmental science degree and background. I get involved with other projects. When we got hit with that freeze not so long ago in the winter, we started brainstorming about how we can help our partners who are trying to, open their doors for our vulnerable communities during that, that freeze, and creating warming shelters. But it was difficult. A lot of people were doing them on their own. And so we're brainstorming how we can come together and utilize all of our resources. And luckily we came across this one grant with the Department of Health that focuses on just exactly that, like how can we support our vulnerable communities before and after climate impacts, especially communities that have health risk. And of course we see that along the corridor or the neighborhoods. So we are focusing on adaptation. And we know that has 3 levels. So we are working on the first level of adaptation, which is resiliency. It is about educating our community about what their health risk might be, bringing in more experts into the conversation, and trying to imagine where we lead next. Like what would we like to imagine in our communities? So we will be working closely with the city on their comprehensive plan. We'll be working with the Clark County with their climate comprehensive plan as well. And we will also create a climate adaptation task force, and we will hopefully do town halls and again, like I said, bringing those experts in the conversation so that we can eventually apply for more EPA grants. And again, like I said, start to imagine together what adaptation or that transformation will look like in the future. So yeah, it's a very, very exciting work, and I'm really excited to be a part of this great organization. And I also work with Watershed Alliance. We do, a lot of activities and events in the community. They have a great newsletter that goes out to the Hispanic community as well. We had a Latinx event, and it went really, really great. We partnered with Pasitos Gigantes, and a lot of families turned up, and a lot of them were telling me like, yeah, I didn't really know of these events. And I was like, well, how do you feel like now that you're out with your kiddos? Like, this is great. Like, let me know of any more. So I was taking phone numbers, and so yeah, I'm excited to partner with more folks here that want to have a Latinx event. The families really appreciate it because it is a different atmosphere when you have more of your community in that space. So I'm excited.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and put our website in into the chat here, and y'all can check out Fourth Pine Fords if you want more information, or if you have any further questions, reach out to us. I put my phone number, like email me, call me, just reach out. We love to partner with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila, and thank you, Almandra. Wow, so many great things happening. I literally have goosebumps. Thank you so much for that. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Juliet. If you're still there, Juliet, anything you want to share from the Fish and Wildlife Service? Welcome.
Hi. So much exciting work. I'm just so happy to hear from all of you guys. So I am Juliet Gutierrez Fernandez, and I'm the refuge manager of a number of refuges, national wildlife refuges with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service here in Southwest Washington. And I'm Latina from the Southwest in Arizona, and I grew up right on the Mexican border. I always loved nature. It was kind of a low socioeconomic area, not a lot of opportunity to get outdoors or to know organizations like this, which is so exciting. So the last 20 years, I've really just had a passion for increasing equity and accessibility to our sites and connecting communities to the outdoors that maybe haven't had those opportunities in the past. We have a small but great team at this refuge complex where I work. We are in schools. We've hosted actually Camp ELSO a couple of the last 2 years, some of the summer camps, and they're so much fun. It's one of my favorite groups that come out. We work a lot with Indigenous communities and tribal partners. We have an event for Dia de los Niños. It's coming up on April 27th for Latino communities to come out. And last year it was primarily Portland families, but if some of you guys have organizations that we should connect with, reach out, because it would be great to have more Clark County presence there. We also have internships that pop up and youth education, and as we have job opportunities, I try and reach out to our community partners. Annually, there's a Latina Leadership Conference that's held here in Clark County, which is great. It's for high school students, and I present there, but it's also helped me to connect with different organizations here in Clark County. So I'm just happy to meet all of you, and I'm so excited that this work is happening on a broad scale, and I'm so grateful to Jane for bringing us all together. So if anybody wants to get out on a national wildlife refuge, like I said, there's one in Ridgefield that I manage and one in Washougal, and we'd be happy to collaborate with you. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Julia. It's so great to see you. And yeah, if you haven't walked the new Steigerwald, it was totally restored. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. Yes, we have a request, Juliet, if you can put your email in the chat. I see lots of connections happening here. And I know everybody's boxes move, so I apologize. I'm looking around. If there's somebody else, I know there's so many great organizations also doing other work. Feel free to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about what your organization is doing, connecting with our Latinx community.
So we don't have a ton happening currently in the area with PEI, but PEI, we are a place-based organization that works with teachers to help teachers get their students outside during the school day and connect science through their classroom. And I'm so excited to hear about so many of these organizations, and I'm blown away that thank you so much for bringing everybody together, Jane, and for everybody being here. Because we really would like to, Lourdes is here, connect more with these communities that need to be held up and brought into the outdoors more, as you all are talking about as well. So very excited to be here. We actually also do have internships. So Jane, I'd love to be able to put those on there. Internships that are connected to sorry, I was looking through both of them just now, but they are named nonprofit exploratory internship, and then also environmental education internship. So the opportunity for students to learn through a nonprofit and environmental education. So yeah, but very excited to be here. Lourdes, did you want to add anything to what you're doing multicultural?
Yes, thank you, Emily, and thank you for connecting us with this wonderful network. I'm very excited to be learning about what everybody does, and I work with the Comunidad Latina, and we're starting to do outings also to connect with the schools, because in Pacific Education Institute, we work mainly training teachers to take kids outdoors for science, integrated science. So we want to start also doing connection, taking families from schools where there are students from the Spanish-speaking families, and do bilingual hikes and bilingual interpretive hikes in sites like national forest or other state and private areas where we can bring them out, and so they can see what their kids do, or what we're trying to do with teachers for bringing kids outdoors, and be more confident and more comfortable on what their kids are learning outdoors, by them also learning and getting excited about learning from the environment and being out there. So this is great, because I'm going to be connecting with many of you. So we also connect for the Hispanic Access Foundation through the Latino Conservation Week, which is in September this year. And that's a week for the Comunidad Latina to be outdoors. So I'm hearing from some of your organizations. So anything that these organizations do anyway, we want them to also join that week to get more of the Comunidad Latina outdoors at the same time in the country.
You said that's
oh, go ahead.
in September, you said?
It's in September. I don't remember the exact dates, but
Okay.
I will let you know, or I'll look for it and I'll put it in the chat.
I also just wanted to share the PLT journals. We're also the Project Learning Tree hub for Washington State, and there's Journeys it's you can free download it, but it's the journeys of Black professionals, specifically within education, environmental careers. So might be a cool resource. Anybody hasn't heard?
September 14th to 22nd. I'm going to put it here.
Awesome. And is there a website that you can send us to for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. And they also have small grants. Like sometimes we, in Pacific Education Institute, we have supported small communities or small groups that are starting and they need help. So we have supported them also to participate.
Oh my gosh, I have so many ideas clicking through my head. I love taking school students and their families for local hikes. I think that is so important. And I thinking of one school in particular that is feeds into Fort Vancouver High School, which has our highest, I think, diversity of high school students. Oh my gosh, so many ideas. Thank you. Thank you. And Juliet, I hope your woodpecker that is on your window is okay. Sorry.
It was amazing, but it was right in my face. So I had to apologize because I like suddenly made this face in the middle of somebody else speaking. So apologies.
No worries. Thank you for the links and the emails for all of your groups. So feel free to keep posting those in there. I want to reach out. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Cindy from Clark County, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Gosh, everybody's box moved. Sorry. Did you want to add anything on what Public Works is doing?
Yeah, so I am the volunteer coordinator for our department, and I have several programs that I manage. So I do have the Adopt a Park program, and I do have an Adopt a Road program. I also manage the Park Host program, and I try to schedule at least once a month is the goal. I'm still I've been in my position for about a year, so I'm trying to organize more events, like open to the public events, at least once a month. We did have our first event for the year last week, where we went to Blue Rock near Frenchman's Bar, and just to open to the public event. We did a beach cleanup in that area. So I hope to plan something for Earth Day next month. I don't have anything on the calendar yet, but at least one event every month, and yeah, just having it open to everyone.
And I'm muted. There's so many beautiful properties in Cindy's portfolio of spaces that they're just a beautiful hike if you're out helping pull invasives or pick up trash, but you still get a beautiful hike in as well. So thank you for that update. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope this fall we're supposed to have some plantings. We did plantings last year at 3 smaller neighborhood parks. Or actually, we did Lacamas, Tiger Tree, and Jorgensen, which are the smaller neighborhood parks. And I think this year we're going to Bosco neighborhood park. So and then hopefully I'll have pear picking, which I've never done, but I got a lot of feedback from the community that that's something that they'd like to do. It sounds like we have pears at one of our parks, so I'm
At 2 of your parks.
Okay, yeah. So the goal is to actually have an event or events so that we can harvest those fruits and actually give them to the food bank.
Awesome. Yeah, Curtin Springs Wildlife Area has an amazing set of apple and pear trees, and then the park that's up off of 21st Street in Philida, they have a huge, beautiful orchard back there. And the pears are amazing. So that would be fantastic. Thank you for that. Anybody else would like to unmute and chime in? Sam, I don't know if ELSO has anything that you'd like to share.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to start my video. There we go. You know, we don't have anything specific. We just recently hired someone that's bilingual in Spanish. So that was kind of a real challenge to host these events and not honor that language is needed. So, you know, I'm doing this just to see brainstorm what we could offer for the Latinx community. I'm always welcome. Again, I'm really happy that we have someone that's completely bilingual now.
Awesome. And if you're not familiar, ELSO has these big, beautiful canoes that fit 14 people.
Yeah, 12 adults. If you have kids, more, about 14. Yeah. I am interested. I know that we have a project a grant where we take people out on Vancouver Lake, leading from Philida boat launch. And we're always looking for groups for that. And so I was thinking about checking in with the Fourth Plane group and see if they would be of interest. Any other groups? I mean, the Vive Northwest. I mean, I know ELSO, we work with them already through at another location. So I think that the canoes are a great way to get people together, because you could get so many people in one. They're really safe. We provide every single thing and they're free. And I know with Vancouver Lake, we start fairly early because the issue with the bloom happens when the water gets too hot with the algal bloom. So, I mean, we could connect and start scheduling stuff for like May, June, you know, like pretty soon. And then again in the fall. Okay, someone said the age range. That we take all ages. Generally, our life jackets fit like kindergartners and up, but if a family brings a smaller one and they can provide the smaller life jacket, that is totally fine. A lot of our own kids have been on there when they were like, you know, 1 and 2. It's hard if you have like a whole group of that. You need enough people to manage the boat. And I mean, honestly, a couple of people can paddle the boat. And that is such a safe place to paddle. And it's really neat when you leave from Philida boat launch. You get to go through these little nooks and crannies and tons of bird life. It's never boring. It's always different. So wonderful. Yeah, let's connect.
And it's super safe. If you're nervous around water, these boats are the best. So
Yeah,
much
we
fun.
have people, most of the time we have people that don't know how to swim. Like that's like a given, you know. So it's totally fine. And we're all trained. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I will also put a plug in that we are hiring a couple of summer rec leaders. I know we're calling them something different. I'm not on that team, so I don't want to misspeak about it. But we're reaching out to our partners first. So Elsa, I'm sure you've heard, and we are looking for, I think, a couple people for that. And if we don't find the interns through the partners, then or the summer rec leaders will blast it out on your page and to our other partners. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And Emily
Yeah.
mentioned that she's got a couple small life vests that are ready to pass on.
Okay. We could get, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Just to have a few for the littles, especially the one that have a little strap underneath, crotch strap.
Awesome.
That's
Thanks, Sam.
exactly what we have. Yeah.
Cool.
Thomas, I see your hand is up. Welcome.
Thanks. I just wanted to jump on and add that we have Vancouver tree planting events that are really fun. We usually run a Spanish-speaking crew or have a Spanish-speaking crew leader available if there is a Latinx kind of community group coming. And so, and just in general, I know all of you are doing great work and having some great events in Vancouver. So if you're interested in coming out for a tree planting event, this season we've got one coming up on Saturday and another one on April 13th. I'll drop my email in the chat if you're interested in coming out, but they're very fun. We go and plant trees in neighborhoods and we have a big potluck afterward. We have breakfast snacks. We often have like, you know, variety of ages and groups that come and you get to learn how to plant some trees. And then, you know, if it's in your kind of your neighborhood or where you live, it's a really special thing to be like, hey, I helped put that tree in the ground. So really happy to be here and learn about all the great work that's happening in Vancouver. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And I have to tell you, the potluck afterwards, I mean, it's just all these people who are all covered in mud and all these fresh soups and chilies and snacks. Super fun. I just did the one for the west side of Vancouver. Lovely. And you picked the weather was perfect for that. So schedule another great day. Awesome.
Yeah, we're hoping that holds, so we'll see. The weather has been really great so far.
And a big shout out from Vancouver Public Schools for Friends of Trees, who sponsored 5 young interns during the past planting season as well, and has hosted plenty of. I've been a crew leader with you guys for years, and lots of teachers have taken both clubs and classes out with you all, and it's been a marvelous experience. But most recently, our interns worked out just really well. So shout out to you guys. Thanks.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
And thank you for being a crew leader, Michelle. I thought I recognized your name. So awesome.
Yeah, and if Thomas, if you have other internships you'd love to have us list, we would love to share that information. Before we scoot on, I know we are getting close to time here. We usually schedule an hour and a half, so if you have to hop off, thank you for joining us, but we still have more information to share. So any other groups that, thank you, Sheila, I know you have to run, but thank you. Anybody else have other information to share with us on Latinx? Okay. Before you hop off, please stay with me for just a couple more minutes. It will be worth it. I have to manage my screens around really quick. I do want to mention if you're, where's my screen share? Screen share. And I'm going to stop recording because me talking is not exciting. Oops, my screen share didn't work. Let me try again. Share. There we go. So I wanted to share that we do use 2 tools for the Nature Network to help keep up to date. The one is, it's called a Padlet tool. So if you're not familiar with Padlets, they're super easy to use. The main one that we use is for the events calendar. And I highly recommend you check that one out. especially if you're planning something, you want to see what else the network is planning. There's some it's kind of chronological, so all you have to do is pick the little X and then go ahead and fill it in. You can add a link, add a picture. Please add the date and the time and the location in the top, and then the other information down below. But this is a really great tool that you can use to share what is up. And then Michelle adds that to our website and to our newsletter. And we would love to help get your events noticed. Let's see if we can get my, well, let's try it this way. And then what's next? So Earth Month, you're all busy, so we're not going to have this meeting. But if you need help supporting your event, I can tell you Sheila jumped off, but April 20th is the Mother Camas unveiling, and she's organizing a block party because that's what she does. So if you're on the 4th Plane and St. John's Q Street, it's just east of I-5. It's really easy to get to. You'll see some tents popped up and a brand new beautiful totem. It will be planted by Fort Vancouver and Hudson's Bay students over the coming weeks, and it will be a really great party. But if you need help at your event, please reach out, and we'd love to help connect resources. On May 9th and 14th, so our May meeting is actually 2 events, funded generously through the Fish and Wildlife Service, hiring Access Recreation, an amazing outdoor accessibility resource based in Portland. They will have May 9th is a virtual 2-hour session. Then if you're interested in in-person training, this is really great for people who everybody should come to the first one, whether you manage a website, social media, meeting with your partners or your customers. That will be a really great one. On-site is for those folks who are managing facilities, trails, etc. It should be really great. You should have received an email late last night, with all the information and registration to link to that. If you did not get it, please let me know. In June, we're going to be in person. Yay! I have to set the date and time, but we're going to be up at the Casey Center in Battleground with naturescaping. Mark, I didn't tell you that, but we're going to come up to your neighborhood. Hopefully you can join us and let us know what you're doing up there with Margaret and others. July, we don't meet in July because usually everybody's off on vacations. I'm hoping I will be too. In August, we're going to be at Columbia Springs for another in-person networking session where we all get to meet and have those parking lot conversations that are so valuable. So we hope that you can join us for those. There'll obviously be more information coming. If you do not get our newsletter, please go to our website and click on subscribe, and Michelle will get you added. Please share our information with others that you think might be interested in learning the information that you all do. That would be great. Let's see, what else? And thank you. I already talked about this. Subscribe, join our monthly meetings. We do have a members page on our website. When you log in, that's the password there, Nature for You. And then once again, the meetings are all about you. So let us know if there is a topic that you would like covered. All of our meeting topics come from our partners. So if you have a topic, we are happy to work with you to get that organized. Whether it's a panel discussion, it's a specific topic, or a community event, we'd like to do that. The one other thing I will mention, we are partnering with OSPI, the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, and ESD 112, the Education Service District, to coordinate a year-long environmental and outdoor learning series for the coming school year. So if you're interested in that, we'll have a meeting about that as well. So happy to get you all involved and connected with our schools, but the great work that you're already doing is really joyful. So with that, that is all I had. Amanda, you're patiently holding on the line. You wanted to unmute and share some exciting stuff with the Forest Service, please.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me get my video on here. Sorry if the lighting is weird. It's a gloomy day again. We lost the sun. But yeah, so there is an exciting event that's going to be coming up in May. It's called Camporee, and it's basically hosted slash run by the Boys and Girl Scouts of America. And it's a super fun, it's just for one day, but it's an all day event where they actually get to camp here at Fort Vancouver in Vancouver, Washington, and they camp on the grounds and they hang out with the Park Service and they do all this other cool stuff. But during the day, they go around to these different stations and all these different groups and organizations set up these little activity stations for the scouts to do, like to practice their outdoor skills or just anything in general related to like conservation education, which is kind of like our bread and butter here. Um, and so I was just wanted to reach out and see if anyone wanted to collaborate with me on creating an activity with these guys, or for the scouts, because mostly because my supervisor is going to be retiring soon, Gayla Miller. I'm sure you guys have met her before. She's amazing. She will be missed. But yeah, she's going to be leaving pretty soon. And I don't think my new supervisor is going to be coming in for a little while. So, and I'm also going to be reaching out to a couple people here on the forest, like our timber group, our wildlife biologists, and a couple of other people. But yeah, if anyone here wants to collaborate on an activity with me, it's going to be really, really fun. It's just for the one day, and hopefully the weather will be good. I'll drop my email in the chat, and if anyone is interested, just reach out because it'd be really fun to connect with you all. And whoever is interested and wants to spend a day hanging out with the scouts. Anyways,
Awesome.
thank you, Jane.
Thank you. And sorry,
Oh,
had to jump off. I apologize.
no, you're good. And I will send you the dates once those get narrowed down a little bit and kind of like a little itinerary of what they're planning. So yeah, so maybe you can post that on the website or anything like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm gonna grab the link for the Padlet again. I'm sorry, Kellyanne. Let me grab that and stick that in the chat for you. And that Padlet is always open, so feel free to just add things as you see fit. And Amanda, I know a lot of folks put their emails in the chat, so if they had to hop off, go ahead and email them with that information. Sorry it uh, uh, didn't get you in sooner. I apologize for that.
Oh no, it's okay. I didn't want to take away from the meeting. It's all good things to talk about. Yeah, I wish that I think the forest could do with a little bit more Latinx community outreach in all honesty, but we are trying. It's like the general rule of the forest is to incorporate everybody from all backgrounds and all language, and from all different languages and trying to cross language barriers. So yeah, we recently came out, well, not recently, but we have two versions of our little Smoky Bear coloring books and storybooks. One is in English, one is in Spanish. And that's just kind of like a fun little thing that we've been promoting, and yeah. Anyways,
Awesome. Thank you.
thanks.
Awesome. And I'm sorry, we're past the top of the hour. Lourdes, please.
Yes, for the Padlet, well, there is a question from Thomas too, because how do we add events in the Padlet, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the Padlet, it's just click on the link. I just put the website in there. When you click on that, just on the timeline, there should be a series of X's. So just pick an X, a little cross, and you can just fill in the information. It's pretty straightforward. If you need help directly, let me know. I can help you with that. And then once anything's in the Padlet, Michelle and I pull stuff off and put it either onto a website or into the newsletter, etc. So, but if you're more comfortable,
I will connect because I don't see much in the Padlet, but a little star. And
let me do this. Let me pull up the Padlet. I'll share screens here one more time. Okay. So hopefully you can see the Padlet. There's this little X down here, and when you click on that, it opens this box. You can just type in, I have an event or whatever it is on Saturday, March 31st or whatever. 32nd. And then there's these boxes here. You can just, like, if you want to upload a picture or add a link or whatever, you can do that here. Then if you have a description, I should just make an example and put it in here, but and then just Always put in a contact information. So if folks need to reach you, you can do that. Once you fill in all this information, just click publish and it'll load right into the link. It'll load right into the Padlet. So if you have any questions, let me know. Or if you'd rather just send me the information, I can add it to the Padlet in the web page.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Thank you for that. Let me see what else is in the chat. There's so much great information in the chat. Okay. I think I got caught up on the chat. Is there anything else folks want to share with the group? Sorry, I went over, but you're all amazing, and I'm so grateful for all the work that you do. So thank you for joining us today. Enjoy the spring. I know it's going to dip a little bit back into winter here, but enjoy spring when it comes. And reading one more time through the chat. I think I answered everybody's questions. Yeah.
My work block said an hour and a half. I want to say I think our meeting extends.
It does. I block it off for an hour and a half, but a lot of folks have so many other commitments, especially at lunch hour. They jump off quickly. So, I try to keep the bulk of it to an hour. But yeah,
Okay.
Now you get some time back in your day.
Oh, great, great.
Awesome.
Well, I did have one bit of information. I don't know if we are exchanging sort of like best practice.
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. I did poke around some of the websites of some of the folks that were here for the internships. And I noticed that some of them were unpaid. And I'm finding that one of the biggest barriers to youth participation from all cultures is the burden of contributing to the household, right? No responsibility.
Yeah.
In some cases, the unpaid opportunities are not valued, or it's really not possible. The logistics, even of getting someone back and forth who may be underage and doesn't have a vehicle, or the facility that bleeds into folks with vehicles to get someone somewhere.
Okay.
So I'd say, as opposed to just saying and advertising a transportation stipend, seem to me the best ways to reach Black and Brown youth and ensure that there are no barriers to participate.
That's great information. Thank you for mentioning that. Taking notes. Awesome. Thank you. We will make sure.
Yeah, I do want to thank you for that. I know ours are unpaid at PEI, and it's something that I'm going to bring up with the DEIJ committee of just like seeing how we can hopefully support that more. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and happy to help or to support that, that work if there's any way that I can, because ELSO's been offering paid work for like 6 years now. I'd say 8 years. So yeah, I'm happy to support just the narrative of how helpful that is.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I will reach out if I do need so, but I do know that we like know the need. We actually have a program called the YES program where we pay students in order to be involved in the school, so they get a credit and they get an $1,800 stipend. And so it's interesting to me that our internships are not paid when we have that as an opportunity for students a lot of times. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, rethinking how things have been done. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else have anything else to share? That's so much great information. I took pages and pages of notes. I love it. All right. Well, I'll let you all get back to your day. Thank you again for joining us today. Hopefully we will see you out in an Earth Day event celebrating Mother Earth. If not, hopefully you'll be able to join us online for our May Zoom call. Thank you again. We hope you all take care and make sure you get outside today, even though the clouds came back. So thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care, everybody.